Today we're going to look at changing a standard form equation into a slope-intercept form. Okay, that's a lot of fancy math words and terms. Let's see what we're talking about. Now, a standard form equation in this graphing of linear equations, this graph stuff, looks something like this. This is how you'll see it in math books and things of that nature online. And this is typically what it looks like. Now, notice here, we have two variables. That's variables means letters. In this case, they're little letters, X and Y. And we notice that in almost all types of linear equations. Now, linear equation is something that goes on a graph. Might look like this, a line. Linear has the word line in it. And this line will have an equation. We'll just say this is X equals, I don't know, maybe, or Y equals, 3X minus 1, something like that. And notice that this equation has a X in it and a Y in it, and that we can graph it and make a picture of it in this line here. Now, in standard form, this is called the standard form of equations. Now, we want to change this. We want to change this to what's called the slope-intercept form, which looks like this. It's a little bit different, but you'll notice that it has a couple things in common. It has the letters X and Y in common with it again. You'll notice the Y here and the X here, just like over here, there was a Y and an X. It also includes this letter M and the letter B. Now, you remember from a previous lesson, M, I think it's Latin for something, stands for slope, and B stands for the y-intercept, or where our line here crosses the y-axis. I should have labeled these. This is y and this is x. And notice on our line here that I just made up quick, it crosses about here, so I called that -1. All right, but for today, we're going to look at quickly how to change an equation that's in standard form to look like this. Well, the best way to do math is enough talk. Let's get into doing it. So I'm going to write an equation here in standard form. 6x minus 2y equals 14. Okay, now right off the bat, you'll notice that it looks quite a bit like this blue one here. We have the x and y are in their proper places, but notice that a, b, c have been replaced by numbers. In this case, 6, -2. Remember, always look at what's in front of numbers in algebra. So not just 2, but -2, and a 14. All right, so we want to change this to look like that. Well, let's draw our fence. You don't really need to with these, but we'll just do that. So you'll notice over here, if we drew a little fence down here with our slope-intercept formula, our slope-intercept equation, which I'll put a box around because it's very, very important. The y is on one side and everything else is on the other side of the fence. Now in our equation here, we have this 6x and -2y. We have a whole bunch of stuff on this side of the fence and just a 14 on that side. So we got to move the 6x over here. So it's going to jump the fence and come over here. Now remember, when it jumps, it changes its sign. So over here, it's a positive 6x. So over here, it's going to be a -6x. Okay, so what's that leave us? It leaves us -2y equals 14 minus 6x. Okay, so we're getting closer. We're getting closer. You'll notice that now we have our y over here. It's not quite exactly y yet. So we want it to be y just by itself. But right now it's got a -2 in front of it. So how do we get rid of that -2? Do you remember? Well, remember when numbers and letters are scrunchy close like they are in this one here, that means multiplication. So to undo that, like the opposite, whatever, is to divide. So we're going to divide everything on both sides by what's in front of our letter. In this case, it's a -2. So we're going to divide everybody over here by a -2. Okay, so let's see what happens. -2 divided by -2, they just kind of go away. Technically, they become 1, but we don't need to worry about that. We have our equal sign. Now, what's 14 divided by -2? Well, that's -7. And what's -6 divided by -2? Well, that's a +3. Okay, so we're getting closer and closer. All we have to, it's got to look exactly like this in our box here. So we notice that the x, the 3x should be right close to the equal sign. So all we're going to do is we're going to take this here, and let me just highlight it here for us. We're going to take this here and just do an old switcheroo. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to switch it. And so we're going to end up with y. Our final answer will be y equals 3x minus 7. And that's it. That's all there is to it. That's how you switch a standard form equation into slope-intercept form.